Hello, kababayans! I'm Melody Mojica, your Consular Matter host, exclusively on FilAm TV Network. Consular Matters is a weekly program which informs, educates, and updates Filipinos in America on news, events, and advisories affecting all Filipinos, whether you're a visitor, student, trainee, worker, green card holder, or dual citizen currently staying in America. The best part is that the person sharing the news, event, or advisory is not me or any other third-party platform, but someone from the Philippine Consulate General's office. So you can rest assured that it's all official. This week, I am so honored to have no less than Consular General Edgar Badajos in Los Angeles to be the co-host and guest of Consular Matters pilot episode. When Consular Matter comes back, I will be joined by Conjan Badajos. Don't go away. I'm here for a very special episode, our first episode for Consular Matters, and my first guest is Consul General Edgar Badajos. Thank you so much for spending time with me.
You're welcome, Melody. Thank you also for having us in your show.
You're welcome. Well, this will be a show specifically for Consular Matters that have to do with information for our community, for our Filipino American. I need to ask you, Conjan, what is your primarily goal or primary focus and duties as the Consul General of Los Angeles?
Okay, well, it's no different from what our other consulates do in other parts of the world, which is to primarily serve the consular needs of the Filipino Americans under our jurisdiction. And when we say jurisdiction, we're actually talking of the Southern California. We're also talking of Southern Nevada and Arizona. So, and then when we talk about consular needs, then we're talking about consular passport services and also dual citizenship applications and legalization of documents. So those three primarily. But you know, aside from those, we also do economic diplomacy. We also promote the economic interests of the country. And we also promote, of course, our cultural interests, promoting awareness of Filipino culture. And the other seldom heard of function that we do, which is equally important, is providing assistance to Filipino nationals who are in distressful situations. We call that assistance to national services.
Okay.
Yeah.
So being new in your position here in Los Angeles, are there any programs that you're focusing on specifically?
Yes, yes. Well, the number one program that I'd like to focus on is to try to further improve the way we deliver consular services. And by that I mean we would like every visit to the consulate by our Filipino American constituents to be much smoother and hassle-free, and to make it easier for them to get appointments to come to the consulate for any kind of service that they need. We're also trying to increase the number of people who can come here every day for consular services. Well, because you know, because of the pandemic, we had to reduce the operating capacity of the Philippine consulate. But now we have increased the number of clients that can be processed for passport applications to 96 up to 126 per day. That's up from maybe 50 last year because of the pandemic and other restrictions imposed by the health and city government officials on social gatherings, public gatherings. And we are also trying to reach out to more members of the Philippine American community through groups like you.
Yes.
And that is why we thank you very much for coming here, because through you, we are able to inform our fellow Filipinos, Filipino Americans about the services that we do and also our limitations. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
So with that being said, how are you engaging with the Filipino community outside of your office?
Okay.
How are you reaching out and engaging with them?
Okay, you know what? In terms of reaching out to Filipino American groups and Filipino American individuals here, we don't run out of means because they're just so active here. You know, they have events almost every other day that we can hardly divide ourselves among these so many activities. So we attend FilAm events. We go give webinars, virtual seminars talking about the services that we do here at the consulate, and also inviting our attached agencies, including the trade attaché and the tourism attaché and the social security system and also the labor attaché. So we engage them by using every means that we can think of, social media, personal appearances, holding meetings here at the consulate now that they're allowing in-person gatherings. But we are really trying to utilize more the online platform by holding webinars. In fact, in the coming weeks, we are having another webinar, and it's going to be talking about know your rights as a new immigrant to the U.S., criminal procedures, what to do when you are accosted by the police, how to access social services and health services in America as a new immigrant, and also some talk about immigration. So we'll talk about those things.
Yes. So
Right.
do you feel then that this show, this TV show, Consular Matters, will be a great platform
It is.
to be reaching out
It
to your
is.
constituents?
It's a very important platform because, and that's why I welcome really this program that
you.
you've thought of, because through you, we can talk to our Filipino American and inform them, tell them what are the services that we do, what are our limitations, and how, most importantly, how we can work together to make sure that we will be effective and successful in terms of servicing the Filipino Americans under our jurisdiction. I always tell Filipino Americans under the jurisdiction of the Philippine Consulate in Los Angeles that if you want us to succeed in what we do, let's work together.
Absolutely.
Right.
And we're very excited to put this program together.
Yeah.
And we thank you as well for
Right.
allowing us to be part of what
Yeah.
you're trying to do for the community.
Yeah.
I do have to ask you,
Sure.
in regard to dual citizenship,
Okay.
me being a Philippine-born Filipina, growing up here, migrating to the United States when I was 4 years old, really don't have a clue what the Philippine Consulate really does. In regards to dual citizenship, aside from voting rights in the Philippines, what are other benefits and privileges of being a dual
of becoming
citizen?
a dual citizen?
Yes.
Okay, as a dual citizen, then you are fully restored to your civil, economic, and political rights as a Filipino citizen. And what do I mean by that? Oh, meaning that if you want to purchase lands in the Philippines, then you can buy with no limitation, no restriction. Because as you know, public lands cannot be bought by foreigners.
Oh,
You can only buy a condominium. But if you're going to buy lands in the Philippines, as a foreigner, you cannot. Okay, so as a dual citizen, then you can buy as many lands as you want, but of course subject to the land reform law. There's
Right.
limitations to the size of the land that you can own, right? You can vote, as you said.
Yes.
You can practice professions that are reserved only to Filipino citizens, right? You can engage in retail trade, which is because this is only reserved for Filipino citizens. You can run for a political office.
Okay.
You can accept an appointment to any office in government, except that if you run for a political office or if you accept, for example, an ambassadorial appointment, you have to renounce your American citizenship.
Oh,
okay?
So you can't be dual
You
anymore.
cannot be dual, right? Yeah, right.
Now
Now, let me clarify. If you are a dual citizen, if you owned lands in the Philippines through as your inheritance, from your parents, for example, it's not a problem.
Okay.
Even if you don't become a dual citizen, you will continue owning those properties that you inherited. So we're only talking about lands that you will purchase, prospectively.
Okay.
Okay? So
Moving
if you, for example, inherited lands from your parents in the
Yes,
Philippines,
yes, which they do have.
yeah, which you do have, okay?
Yes.
You will continue owning that even if you don't become a dual citizen,
Okay.
assuming that you're not yet a dual citizen.
That's wonderful
Right.
information, even for someone like me that
Yeah.
has no idea
Okay.
about the dual
Yeah,
citizenship.
and,
So
and
thank you
one
for
more
sharing.
one more important thing, as I said, if you become a dual citizen, one of the concerns of many Filipino Americans is that they will be taxed by the Philippine government. You will not be taxed on your income that you earn here. Only if you earn income in the Philippines, then you will be taxed as a Filipino citizen. And then, of course, if you own properties in the Philippines, necessarily you will have to pay the real estate tax, because tax for that tax it is where the property is located.
Right.
Right? Okay.
Right. Thank you for sharing that. In regards to what individuals come to your office for, the consulate office, many times you had mentioned earlier that there are many things and limitations, yet there are many individuals that you can help. What are the reasons why they would come here to ask for help that you would need to turn away? Let's talk about
Okay. Yeah.
why would they come here? first
For
of all?
example, some would like to regularize their status here in America, immigration status. Okay, we don't do that.
Okay.
We cannot help you adjust your residency or immigration status here.
Yeah.
We cannot help you to acquire U.S. citizenship here. It's not our job.
Okay.
You get an immigration lawyer.
Yes.
Okay. You come here only for these things. Number one, passport renewal, or you apply for a new passport if you just became a dual citizen. You will come here to apply for dual citizenship. You will come here to have your legal documents legalized or authenticated, because this will be used in the Philippines. For example, if you want to sell a property in the Philippines and you want to authorize somebody to sell it for you, you will need a special power of attorney, and that will need to be authenticated by the Philippine consulate.
Okay. Kanjan, let's go ahead and take a break.
Okay.
And we'll be right back. We're going to take a short break, and as soon as we come back, we'll continue our conversation with
Sure.
Kanjan Badajos.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I wanna see you stand. I wanna feel you be proud. I wanna hear you beating heart. Live out loud. You can do it all. Stand out now. Live you. Be proud. Yeah. Stand out now. Live out loud. Oh.
And we're back. I'm here speaking with Consul General Badajos in Los Angeles. Thank you again, Kanjan.
You're
so
welcome.
we were talking about the limitations and availability of what individuals can avail when they come here. You had mentioned that many people come here and they expect to have immigration services and so forth. Let's continue that conversation. I mean, as far as what the limits are of what you can provide to
Okay.
them and redirect them somewhere else.
Right. So basically, it's just matters pertaining to immigration status, for example, naturalization services. We don't do those. We just deal with consular services. And by that, I mean, again, the passport service, dual citizenship, legalization of documents, and most importantly, providing assistance to Filipinos who fall in this stressful situation. And what do I mean by that? These are people who, for some reason, have some problems with the laws of the host country, who get arrested, who get detained, who get hospitalized, and they don't have funds anymore to pay for their medical expenses. And they are not yet American citizens, for example, and they have become indigent. Then we have to help them. So we have to request Manila to probably try to finance the medical expenses of these Filipino nationals. Let me mention this, okay? This is very important. You will probably not find another government in the world that does it, that pays for the medical expenses, for the repatriation of the dead body of Filipino national who dies overseas.
Wow.
Many governments, other than the Philippines, will not pay for that. They will only help the surviving heirs to look for the next of kin, probably, or to look for possible assistance, but the government itself will not pay. We do that.
So it's great to be a Filipino.
It's great to be a
citizen
Filipino.
in the United States.
Yeah, it is great because I don't want to name names, okay, but I know of one government that if its citizens go overseas, you can read in the website of that government that if you go overseas and you get sick, our government will not pay for your medical expenses. It's your obligation to provide for your own medical insurance coverage if you get sick overseas. In our case, it's different. If you know, I came from Jeddah, our consulate in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, and there we have a lot of overseas Filipinos who fall in these stressful situations. They get hospitalized, and some do not have money anymore to pay for their medical expenses. And so what we do is to first contact the next of kin in the Philippines. And if they say we are also indigent, we cannot pay for it, and therefore what we do is to request the Department of Foreign Affairs to already consider paying for the medical expenses of these kababayan of ours. Some dead bodies we repatriate, we pay for everything.
Wow.
Okay?
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
That's a really good benefit for the Filipinos that are
Correct.
living here and working here. What benefits does the Philippine consulate provide to Filipino Americans? I know it was mentioned to me by our CEO is that Social Security, where he earned money in the Philippines and still receiving Social Security. How is the Philippine consulate involved with assisting in any of that process?
Okay, you know, we have a representative of the Social Security system here at the consulate. She can receive contributions if you want to continue your SSS membership, because it could be that before you left the Philippines, you have at least contributed something to the Social Security system.
Yes.
In the Philippines, once you're a member of the SSS, you are a member for life. And if you're in the US already, even if you're already an American citizen and a Filipino citizen at the same time, you can continue paying it. So that if you complete the required monthly contributions, then you can receive pension. You can obtain loans and other services of the SSS of the Philippines. Okay? And as a Filipino American citizen, you are entitled to request assistance from us, just like any other Filipino citizen, because you're already a Filipino citizen, right?
Yes.
Example, we had one Filipino American who got sick, and unfortunately that kababayan of ours died. And he died alone by his lonesome self here in California, and he had no other relatives. So it's now the relatives in the Philippines calling the consulate to please extend assistance to our dead relative. His remains need to be shipped back to the Philippines. He left behind belongings that need to be shipped back to the Philippines. And so what are we doing? We are saying that since he was a Filipino citizen before he died, then he can be extended assistance by the Philippine government. We will help in repatriating the remains of that Filipino national. We will help in sending back the personal belongings left behind by that Filipino national. That's how compassionate our government is.
Yes, it is. It's part of our Filipino heritage to
Yes,
be
right.
compassionate
Oo nga.
and caring. It's one of
Right.
the things that we do best and that we're known for as Filipinos
Exactly,
in
oo.
our culture.
Right, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
What can you say to our audience out there? Any word of advice directly coming from you, Consul General?
Yeah, well, my appeal to our kababayan dito sa Los Angeles, sa Southern Nevada, at sa Arizona, tayo po ay magtulungan. I always say that if you want our administration, our consulate under my term to succeed in terms of delivering efficient, timely, and efficient consular services, please work with us. Let's work together. Let's cooperate.
Thank you po. Also, Conjen, I know we talked a lot about business.
Mm.
Tell us, we want to know who you are as an individual. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, well, I don't know how to start to answer how to begin your question to answer your question. Well, I've been in the service for 25 years already.
Thank you for serving.
Yeah, before the DFA, I was with the Office of Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago, and I've been to 5 other countries before Los Angeles. I've served in New York, I've served in Toronto, Canada, I've served in Thailand, and I've served in Jeddah. And I think I love what I'm doing because what we do here is pure public service.
Yes.
And I would like to tell our kababayan who are watching us, those who have some concerns that we are probably not doing what we're supposed to be doing overseas when we are at post, my answer to you, it is not in our best interest not to do our mandated functions and duties. Okay? We are here to serve.
Yes.
And I have to tell you, mga kababayan, that the Philippine Consulate General in Los Angeles only has 36 personnel serving a constituency comprising of 1.3 million Filipino Americans. Can you imagine the ratio
Yes.
of one personnel serving 30 to 50,000 Filipino American and all wanting to be served at the same time? Not today but yesterday.
Yeah,
Can you
patience.
imagine the demand on us? Kaya ang sinasabi ko palagi po ay medyo magtulungan po tayo. Do not think that we are superhuman.
Yes.
That we can do everything for you. We have limitations. Yung mga tauhan natin dito, mga tao din katulad nyo. They also need to rest. They also need to have some weekend with their family. They're not robots that they can work 24/7, 365 days a year, non-stop. Hindi ho pwede yun.
Yeah.
Okay? And you have to remember, mga kababayan, yung mga lumalabas ng Los Angeles, pumunta sa Las Vegas para magumawa ng Consular Mobile Program, ay sila din ang babalik dito sa Los Angeles para magtrabaho kinabukasan. Walang pahinga. So we go to Las Vegas, work there Saturday, Sunday. On the following day, Monday, we have to go back to the consulate and report. They cannot say, hindi, galing ako Las Vegas, pagod ako. They cannot
Yeah.
say that. We have to continue working for the benefit of our kababayan. Because that is our marching orders.
Yes.
Okay?
Very good,
Yeah.
Jen. Thank you so much for sharing us and
Yeah.
enlightening us with so many information. We are very excited to have Consular Matters as
Yeah.
one of our banner
Yeah,
programs
yeah.
for FilAm TV.
Right.
And we look forward to speaking with you more.
Yeah,
Maraming
yeah.
salamat
Look
po
forward to
for-
it. And maraming salamat din for the opportunity you've given us to communicate and talk to our fellow Filipinos here in southwestern United States. Thank you, Melody.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right.
There you have it for all our Filipinos and Filipino Americans in the United States and anywhere around the world who's watching this. The Philippine Consulate is very, very open and very willing to work with you. So if you have any questions at all, Conjen, how can they reach out to you? Not to you, but to your office. Please
Okay.
tell our audience that.
We have a website, philippineconsulateLA.gov. Okay, you can access that and all the information you need about how to apply for a passport, what are the requirements for a passport, how to apply for dual citizenship, and what are the requirements. You can find everything in the website. My appeal din sa ating mga kababayan, please take time to read and visit our website. You visit also our Facebook page. If you can devote 2-3 hours of your time doing TikTok or maybe checking your Facebook messages or chatting with somebody else, take time to read our Facebook, our website, because everything is in there.
Yes.
Okay? And let's help each other.
Yes.
Tulungan nyo din ang sarili nyo. Okay? You are in America where the virtue of self-reliance and independence is very much promoted.
Yes.
You do that.
Yes.
Diba? Wag na yung puro spoon feeding.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yes.
Na aasahan mo lahat, bibigay namin lahat ng kailangan mo ito, tuturo namin lahat,
Yes.
ganyan-ganyan. Huwag na po yan. The reason why you're in America is because you are so good
Yes.
as an individual. And there's therefore an expectation from you as a Filipino American that you are also so independent
Absolutely.
and so self-reliant.
Yes.
Okay? You don't need to
Yes.
be spoon-fed.
Absolutely
Okay.
po. Salamat po,
Yeah.
Conjen. Salamat. There you have it. Last words from Conjen Badajos.
Yeah.
This is Melody Mojica. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Wasn't that a very informative episode? I hope you've learned something valuable just like I did. And it's straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Once again, thank you so much, Conjen Badajos, for supporting Consular Matters and for your dedication to providing professional service to Filipinos in America, whether or not they are residing in your area of responsibility. Please join me again next week on another information-filled episode of Consular Matters. I'm your host, Melody Mojica. God bless and mabuhay.